So this is my first ever PlayStation 5 product. I ordered it from Amazon.com. As you can see, it has a unique shape to it, and it fits in the hand very nicely. The remote itself is pretty light without the batteries in it, so let's get the batteries in there. On the back, there is a little button here that says push. So I'm going to push on that, and let's see what happens here. Okay. Maybe I'll use something to push that in with. There we go. Okay. Might take some getting used to, but hopefully I don't have to get in there too often. So under the battery compartment, which takes up the entire back, you have all this glossy plastic back here. You have Sony branding up here. It says Media Remote Model CFI-ZMR1. Sony Interactive Entertainment. A lot of information. It does take 2 AA batteries, and you get 2 Sony branded AA batteries when you purchase this. So let's put those in here. And interestingly enough, there is not a spring at the bottom. It's sort of just a spring-loaded metal piece here. Most of the time it's a spring. So, actually, interestingly, they both go in the same direction. So positive on both of them. Normally with the remote, you have them in reverse. One goes positive one way, and then you'd have the negative the other way. But no, not in this case here. So both in that direction. Let's close this back up and kind of take a tour. Let's see if that, don't know exactly how this fits in. Interesting. This back piece, not very intuitive. Maybe that did it. So what I had to do is I kind of had to put it in this way and then push it back a little bit, and that locked it into place. So it's maybe going to take me a little bit more time to get used to it. So the remote has a little bit more heft to it, but it's really not that heavy at all. Let's take a tour around. You do have the mimicking of what the actual PlayStation 5 looks like. You have a textured back, which to the naked eye, I can't see if... No, that is the circle, square, X, and triangle pattern on there. It is very small. I thought it was going to be a little more visible, but I can only see it with the light from the camera on there, so maybe you can actually see that as well. But that characteristic pattern is made up of all of the PlayStation symbols for the buttons. It's a matte white plastic on the back with a Sony branding on the base. The texture is nice. I mean, I haven't used it, but it's good to have texture on the bottom. That way it's not going to slip out of your hands. You have the glossy black plastic just like you have on the console itself. And that goes all the way around. As you saw when I had the back off of it, it makes up the back end of this when the cover's not on. On the face of the remote, you have a matte white plastic. You have a plus button up here. You have a minus button, you have a microphone button, you have a TV button, you have a mute button, then you have your 4-way directional with a select in the middle. You have a back button, you have a menu button, you have your play controls, rewind, play, pause, fast forward. Then you have 4 dedicated buttons, a Disney Plus button, a Netflix button, a YouTube button, and a Spotify button. Then on the bottom you have your PlayStation button. Now, unfortunately, with these dedicated buttons down here, probably will only use YouTube and Netflix. I don't really have Disney Plus, and I don't do Spotify. So won't be able to use those, at least at this time. Generally, I don't use things on the PlayStation itself. I will just default to the apps on my television set. That's always the easiest. and then you don't have to turn on another device and put hours of use on a PlayStation if you don't need to. So for the most part, I'm going to be just using this as a 4K Blu-ray playing remote. And I think it's always preferable to actually have a dedicated remote as to using the game controller. Because a remote, you don't have to make sure it's on for hours. You're going to waste your battery on your what is it called, DualSense controller. It's just smarter, at least in my opinion, to, as my cat is moving my camera around here, it's just smarter to use a dedicated remote because it's not only easier to control, it's more straightforward this way, but it's also, like I said, it saves on battery life. So it doesn't look like there's any backlighting on this at all. So just taking a quick tour around the box, you have a representation of the remote on the front. Media remote for PlayStation 5, PlayStation, Sony branding, then you have the blue and sort of a white and a gray look. The gray is representing, or at least coloring in, the triangle, circle, X, and square. And it kind of folds over to the side. PlayStation branding there. Contents, CFI-ZMR1, media remote, 2 AA batteries, and instruction manual. Entertainment at the push of a button. Conveniently control entertainment on your PlayStation 5 console with an intuitive layout. On this side, it says compatible hardware, PlayStation 5. So let me apologize for the glare that you're seeing on my television. It's in the morning when I'm filming this and the light is shining through the window. But you get the idea of this. So what I tried to do, I have my PlayStation 4 fired up and it's updating some files here. And I tried to pair this with the PlayStation 4. It does not pair, at least in a way that I have found as of yet. So no big deal. I didn't expect it to. I just thought maybe it would be an interesting little perk. But I do have a Sony television set, and this, out of the box, does control some aspects of that television set. Now, supposedly when you have the PlayStation 5 set up with this remote, you can use this remote to control the TV. So maybe there are further functions that I could take advantage of with this remote, even though I don't foresee myself doing it. I would just use the dedicated TV remote. But it's good to know and good to tell you guys if I do find out anything. What I have found out is that the top buttons up here, these 5 buttons, all work on the television set. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to press the up volume button, and you see it does control the volume. I will press the mute button now. That mutes it. I can press the down volume button. And let me just take that off of mute first. Press the down volume button, and you can see it's putting the volume down. Now, actually, I take that back. There are only 4 of the buttons that work. This is a microphone button. I have not gotten that to work as of yet, even though I do have a microphone button on my remote for the television set itself. This doesn't work, and maybe that is something that I have to set up with the PlayStation 5. So if I do press that, nothing happens. The other buttons, I've already gone through these 3, the up volume, down volume, and the mute button. The only other one is the TV button. Now, when I hit that, it does seem like it turns off everything, including the PlayStation 4. But let's see if that happens again, because I did test this. So I'm just going to hit the TV button. Turns the TV off. And it looks like the PlayStation is going into a sleep mode. Let's turn the TV back on. And yes, so pressing that button, of course, I have the setup where if I turn the PlayStation on, it will turn on the TV. So I don't have to turn them on separately. So turning off the TV, put the PlayStation into a sleep mode. Let me turn it back on again. So that's the PlayStation remote, or PlayStation 5 media remote thus far. I'll probably have a follow-up on this when I actually have a PlayStation 5 to use it with. So that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And as always, if you want to help out this channel, you can give me a thumbs up. You can share this video on your favorite social media, or you can actually join my Patreon, all of which is greatly appreciated. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.